Welcome to Baking Around. I'm Laura May, and today we will be making pumpkin bread. Pumpkin bread is by far one of the simplest and hardest recipes to accomplish. That is why I love this recipe so much, because it's not too sweet and not too spicy, and the proof is in how fast it gets eaten. This recipe makes 2 standard-sized loaf pans, or 4 mini pans. Once you have decided on what size loaf pans you're going to use, you need to grease them. I like to dip the paper towel in oil to use it to spread the oil around the pans instead of using a cooking spray, because it gets every crease and corner, and you don't get cooking spray all over your countertop. This recipe is a slow cooker and at a medium heat of 350 degrees Fahrenheit. To make this pumpkin bread sweet, we use 3 cups of sugar. Place that in a large bowl, and next you're going to combine your wet ingredients. In the same bowl, you're going to want to crack your 3 eggs into your sugar. Then you're going to add a ½ cup of oil and then stir until combined. Next, you're going to want to add a ½ cup of applesauce. This is what makes your pumpkin bread extra moist. Lastly, you will need to add 16 ounces of solid packed pumpkin puree. I like to use freshly pureed pumpkin, but it will taste just as great with canned pumpkin. If you're using canned pumpkin, make sure you aren't using a pumpkin pie filling. It needs to be a pumpkin puree. If you want to make your own pumpkin puree, keep in mind that there are many different types of pumpkins out there that will give you different flavors and aromas. Once you combine all your wet ingredients, set that bowl aside and pull out a fresh one. This one you will be adding your dry ingredients to. Start off with 3 cups of flour. To spice up your bread, we are only using 3 different spices: nutmeg, cloves, and cinnamon, 1 teaspoon each. I found that this is the perfect balance of spices that won't be overwhelming to the taste. Lastly, like most recipes, you will need 1 teaspoon of baking soda, a ½ teaspoon of baking powder, and a ½ teaspoon of salt. By whisking these all together, you not only are combining them to make sure they get incorporated and not clumped up, you are also aerating the flour. Not all at once, start to sift the flour mixture into your wet mixture. This will ensure that you don't get any unpleasant clumps or hard bits from the nutmeg in your bread. After each addition, you want to stir your mixture to combine. Do not overmix because it'll make your batter too runny. Finally, to add even more sweetness to your bread, and because everybody loves them, add 1 cup of chocolate chips. I think this really sets the recipe apart, because how often do you see chocolate chips in pumpkin bread? Divide your batter into prepared pans. And pop them in the oven for 70 minutes for large loaves and 45 to 50 minutes for small loaves. You must be patient when you pull these out of the oven and let them cool for at least 10 minutes before you loosen the edges with the knife. Otherwise, your slices of bread will crumble because they are super moist and they will not pull out nicely. You can either serve the bread right away, or you can wrap it tightly in foil and place it in the freezer for up to a month. That way you're always prepared for unexpected guests. Join us next time to see where we are, because we are baking around.